behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Mash TV time once again. We're glad that you could join us today. We've got a great interview coming up for you in just a couple minutes, but before we get into that, don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell, and you're going to get notified on a new interview whenever it becomes available. And we'd love to hear from you on the comment section, so leave a comment. Well, we'd love to hear from you there. And we'd also love to hear from you in email. That's palmmashtv, all one word, @gmail.com. And it's good not just if you're a band or a solo artist wanting to be on the show, but if you're a fan, you can use that same email address. We'd love to hear from you. And go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/PalmMashTV. And feel free to like the page, inbox us, comment everything you see there. We'd love to hear from you. And also pay attention at 6 o'clock on Roku, channel Smile World TV. And we got a episode of mine on there for you. So, and we're going to recap all this at the closing credits at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. From Lexington, Kentucky, we have Robert Eskridge, fine country music artist, and I think you'll agree. And we're going to get to that interview in just a moment, but first here's a quick word from ClickJam. Don't go away.
We got history, got me feeling the nostalgia when you look at me, thinking about what could.
All right, it's interview time again, and with us from Lexington, Kentucky, we have Robert Eskridge. Thanks for joining the show, Robert.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for having us. For me, I guess.
Yeah, no problem. Tell us a little bit about how it started for you as being an independent artist. I mean, I'm sure everybody would love to hear that story.
Man, I tell you, it's been a long journey, and I've been doing this for a while, so. Long story short, first guitar when I was 6 years old. I still have my first amp. It's over here in the corner. It's a gem. But I started playing, and I guess really my first real gig was playing bass in a bluegrass gospel band here in Pike County, Kentucky, with some guys. And went on to college and had some bands. And I guess what really kind of got me going is we did a lot of stuff when I was in college, and I used to go back and forth to Nashville with some dude named Billy Ray Cyrus. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him, but
okay. He
was from Flatwoods, Kentucky, and we used a similar guy in some of the stuff that we did. And we started really making some progress, and worked with a couple different record labels down in Nashville back in the early 90s, probably 94-ish, 95, just when all the Garth Brooks and the Alan Jackson, the Travis Tritts were busting out. I played every now and then with John Michael Montgomery, played bass with Troy Lee Gentry here in Lexington for a while. So sad that he passed away in that accident. I've been chasing this dream for a long time, and I've had some really cool experiences. Played the Ernest Tubb record shop. I got to travel with the George Jones band years ago and cover for him whenever he was in an accident so that they could stay fresh. We did some shows in Nashville, around the Tennessee area. And I've had my own band here in Lexington for 25 years. So we're more of a 70s rock, country, blues, and all the original music kind of stuff. And we're really good, even though the band hates it. They hate it. Somebody will holler out a request like, play some AC/DC. And we're like, oh, we could probably do that. So that's kind of cool. But I've been playing for a long time. I've been writing probably since I was 15 or 16 years old. There's a song on my album. It's called This Old House. It was really started off years ago sitting outside in a cornfield. It was a big old white farmhouse out in the middle of Nowheresville in Delaware. It's where my grandparents, my dad was from. So I grew up there a little bit here in Kentucky. So a long story short, that was my ride. I thought that I was going to fly out of Lexington to be the next big thing. But then fortunately from a dream perspective, life happens, right? So we got pregnant, and I had a beautiful daughter, my daughter A, and I started focusing on a career on a different path, and just did music for a hobby for quite a long time, and picked it back up like 10 or 12 years ago, really seriously playing around the tri-state area here, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, Tennessee. And, it's been fun. I kind of got past the point of needing to go play for money. So I have a day job. I do this because I love to do it. And I think that shows whenever I'm out entertaining folks. It's one of those things that I just love to do. It's just kind of part of my little DNA, and that's who I'm made up. So from that perspective, I probably bury me with my guitar in my box. Be one of those type of things. But yeah, that's it. We've been playing for a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, that is quite a story there, Robert. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Sure.
What would say some of your influences? I mean, I know you already mentioned like Billy Ray Cyrus. I guess he would be one. Maybe you have some others in your mind.
I would say musically, I had some really cool interests. So when I was like a young teenager trying to get my very first album, because my mom had went to, I can't remember, I think it was Finger Hut. There's like a thing you catalog back when I was a kid, you get Finger Hut. We got our first big stereo when I was little and had a record player. And I mowed grass for what seemed like days with my old school, you're just pushing it, right? Making like $1 or $2 to mow a yard. And I saved up and I bought my very first album was Billy Joel, Glass Houses. I remember it like it was yesterday. We still do some Billy Joel from that album because it's really nostalgic for me. I just love it. And AC/DC, Kiss, when I was a little, grew up in the 70s, so I was a rocker that way. But my mom and my dad, when I was little, I grew up on Hank Sr., Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Johnny Paycheck, Charlie Pride. I remember Dad slamming in these 8-track cassettes in the car when we go somewhere. And I grew up listening and taking my guitar and learning how to play those songs when I was younger. So I would say from the early days, it was really that. As I kind of grew into who I think I am today, it was really the Garth Brooks and Alan Jackson. I love Travis Tritt stuff. I'm a big Southern rocker type guy. He kind of was the epitome of that back in the early to mid 90s. He just released a new song here not too long ago. But that's really kind of who I kind of grew up with. That's kind of it. And I kind of have taken all that and melded it into my own kind of style, I guess, if you will. I think that's what you do is you kind of grow to your own person after you get the influences of different things. So I took a piece of Merle, took a piece of Johnny, took a piece of Billy Joel, maybe a little bit of Travis. And when I write, I feel that kind of zone, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, yeah, those are pretty good artists and they're legends for sure.
Yeah.
And I know it's just a minute ago you mentioned you had albums. Where can we find that out? Where can we find any of your music for that matter?
Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about today versus, some years ago. You can go to any online streaming. You can catch us, go to my website, number one. It's roberteskridgecountry.com. Facebook, you'll get us out there with Robert Eskridge and Southern Days. That's the band. You've got Reverb Nation, Django, SoundCloud, iTunes, you got Amazon, YouTube. You can find us any place you can find a major artist. Is one of the benefits of some of the companies that you work with as an indie is they do allow you to get to the same audience that the majors can get to. It's on our budget and our time to go do that. But at the end of the day, that's how we make it out there. But yeah, any place you can get any streaming today, you can find our stuff out there.
You don't have any physical copies or anything like that? I mean, I know it's the streaming age now, but you might still have.
I do. So when we do shows, and unfortunately with this crazy COVID thing, we've not played in quite a while. We are doing a thing on February the 6th in Moorhead, Kentucky, and it's going to be the video shoot for the next radio release called "I Can't Win for Losing You." On my website, we went through a lot of different craziness with having merchandise up there, and so I do it all for myself. And I decided it probably would be easier to just take the CDs with me versus going to the post office 3-4 times a week, dropping this, filling that out. It's just easier nowadays. People put it on, unless they really want a hard copy, I'll send it to them. It's easier. They put it on their phone or their smart devices or on the PC, and they're downloading this stuff anyways now. I got a new truck here this year, and it doesn't even have a CD player. I was shocked. Right? I couldn't believe it. Hey, you can connect your phone, Bluetooth. So I had to download my own album to my phone so I can play my own songs in my own truck. It's crazy.
Okay. Well, we're getting ready to watch a video from you. It's called Buck Wild and Whiskey Crazy. Is there a story behind that? Maybe you can talk to us.
Oh, dude, that was one of the funniest stories ever. That was a good song. It came together really fast. So I like the outdoors. I like to hunt and fish and those type of things. That's why I went to Moorhead, Kentucky for school. They had a great lake there in the Dandaboo National Forest. But I also like to snow ski. So my wife got me into snow skiing, and we were driving from Lexington towards Snowshoe, West Virginia. And we had the whole family in the car. Everything's loaded up. And my uncle has a cabin in West Virginia. He's from Charleston. He lives in Charleston, West Virginia with my cousin. And they go up there and they deer hunt all the time. Deer everywhere up there. And my son, who was probably, Paul, maybe 17 years old at the time. I think he's almost a senior in high school. He goes, "Hey, Dad." He goes, "This is where Uncle Nathan's at?" It's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I want to go up there." He goes, I'm going to go get a buck this year." I'm like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I want to go hunting. I want to get a buck." I'm like, but they don't go deer hunting. They go up there to drink whiskey. And he goes, "Oh, but I want to go hunting." So I turned to my wife, no kidding. We're driving up I-79. I said, "Get my phone and type in there, a note." I said, "Write Buck Wild, Whiskey Crazy." And we drove past it, and we came back from skiing that trip. I sat here in my music room, and I sat here at my music desk here. I wrote that song in 5 minutes. It was our first #1 indie world countries. One of the stations gets tracked down in Nashville. It made it almost on the 100 Billboard. Didn't crack that one just yet. It was a big splash in Europe. And it's actually was right. I think now it's kind of cycled even after it released a year. It is like the number 3 or 4 song up in Canada. So it's kind of made its rounds. As an independent, you kind of take it where you can get it, right? So it's done really, really well. We filmed that video in Paris, Kentucky. And then we did it. One of our favorite places to play is called the Tipsy Cow Bar over in Georgetown. You'll see that in the video. So it was a cool thing. And a good friend of mine from college, he was involved in the cheerleading stuff. So for me, I played college football. I hated it. I became a college cheerleader. So from my side, I used to tumble and toss girls around and that kind of stuff. So Dave and a friend of his came down and they did a line dance for that whenever we did the video shoot. So they taught all the people in the bar there, and they're doing the dancing and the other stuff. So it turned out it's such a fun song. I love to play it. It's kind of cool vibe to it.
Okay, yeah, well, it is a pretty good video, and I think everybody out there will enjoy it too. And
Cool.
we'll get to that in just a second, but I think that's all the time we have for right now, Robert. We'd love to have you back sometime.
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Paul.
Yeah, no problem. And here is Buck Wild Whiskey Crazy right here on Paul Mash TV. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Growing up in a small country town, I'm working hard just to try to get out. Well, living right and doing my best. Feel like I'm never gonna get no rest. Been getting down on a Saturday night. Well, everything's gonna be alright now. Well, people say I'll be pushing the daisies. And Mama says I'm a little too lazy. Well, Julie says Friday night is maybe, but I'm buck wild and whiskey crazy. I'm 23 and I'm bringing it home. And finally made it out on my own. Hop in my truck, headed out to the lake. Ain't gonna worry about the trouble I made. I'm getting down on a Saturday night. Well, everything's gonna be alright now. Well, people thought that I'd never make it. Well, Mama says I'm a little too lazy. This small town, hell, it probably saved me. But I'm buck wild and I'm whiskey crazy. Cruise downtown,